Hello, and welcome back to the Boosted English podcast. I'm Liam, and I'm very happy that you are here with me today. In this episode, we are going to talk about a beautiful and gentle story, The Little Prince. It is a small book, but it carries very big ideas about love, loneliness, friendship, and what really matters in life. This story is simple, but also very deep. And today, we will walk through it slowly, together. So, let's begin very calmly. The Little Prince is a short novel written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. It looks like a children's book. It has drawings. It has simple language, but when you read it slowly, you realize that it is not only for children. It is also, and maybe especially, for adults.
Yes, it is one of those books that feels light in your hands, but heavy in your heart.
That's very beautifully said, Emma. The story begins with a pilot. The pilot is alone in the desert. His airplane has crashed. He is far away from people. There is only sand, silence, and the sky.
And already, from the beginning, we feel something important. We feel loneliness. We feel isolation. We feel what it means to be far away from the world.
Exactly. The desert is not only a place, it is also a feeling. It represents emptiness. It represents silence. It represents being cut off from others. Let's slow down here. The desert is dry. It has no water. It has no life. And in the same way, the pilot feels dry inside. He feels alone. He feels disconnected.
But then, something magical happens.
Yes. One morning, the pilot wakes up, and he sees a small boy standing near him. A little boy with golden hair, a calm face, and very serious eyes. The boy says something very simple. "Please, draw me a sheep." And this is how the story truly begins.
I love this moment so much, because it feels impossible and yet completely natural.
Yes, there is no explanation. The boy is simply there, and we accept it. The little boy is the little prince. He comes from another planet, a very small planet. So small that he can watch sunsets many times in one day. Now, let's think about this slowly. The little prince represents childhood. He represents innocence. He represents imagination. He represents the ability to see things with the heart.
And the pilot represents adulthood. He represents logic. He represents seriousness. He represents the adult world, where people are busy and forget how to dream.
Exactly. At the beginning of the book, the pilot tells us that when he was a child, he once drew a picture of a snake that had eaten an elephant. Adults looked at his drawing, and they said it was a hat. They did not see the elephant inside the snake. This is very important. Let me say it in another way. Children see with imagination. Adults see only with their eyes. Children see what is hidden. Adults see only what is obvious.
So from the beginning, the book tells us that adults often forget something very important. They forget how to see deeply.
Yes, they forget how to see with the heart. And this idea, this difference between children and adults, is one of the central messages of the book.
Now maybe we can talk about where the little prince comes from.
Yes, the little prince comes from a very small planet called asteroid B612. On this tiny planet, there are 3 volcanoes and 1 rose. The rose is extremely important. Let's slow down again. The rose is beautiful. The rose is proud. The rose is delicate. The rose is demanding. The rose is sometimes difficult, and the little prince loves her. But he does not always understand her.
He thinks she is too proud, too dramatic, too complicated.
Yes, and because he is young, and because he does not fully understand love, he decides to leave his planet. This is very human, isn't it? Sometimes we leave not because there is no love, but because we do not understand love. Sometimes we leave because we are confused, because we are hurt, because we do not yet know how to care.
The rose represents someone very special in his life.
Yes. Many people say that the rose represents love itself, or maybe a specific person the author loved. But in a bigger sense, the rose represents that one unique being in our life, the one who is special because we care. And we will come back to this later. After leaving his planet, the little prince travels to different small planets. And on each planet, he meets one adult. Each adult represents a type of person in our world.
Yes, they are almost like symbols. They are simple, but very meaningful.
Let's take them one by one. On the first planet, he meets a king. The king wants to control everything. He wants to give orders, but there is no one to rule. This shows us something important. Some people want power, even when it makes no sense. On the second planet, he meets a vain man. A man who only wants admiration. He wants people to clap for him. This represents people who live only for attention. On the third planet, he meets a drunk man. The drunk man drinks to forget that he is ashamed of drinking. This is a sad circle. He drinks because he feels bad, and he feels bad because he drinks.
It is like a loop of sadness.
Yes, a cycle that continues. On another planet, there is a businessman. He counts stars. He says he owns them, but he does nothing with them. He just counts. This shows us how some people focus only on numbers. Money, possession, ownership. They want to own things, but they do not truly experience them.
And then there is the lamplighter.
Yes, the lamplighter lights and turns off a lamp again and again. He follows rules, even when the rules no longer make sense. He represents duty, responsibility, but also blind obedience. And finally, there is the geographer. He writes books about the world, but he never leaves his desk. He knows about mountains and oceans, but he has never seen them. This shows us how knowledge without experience can be empty.
So every planet shows one weakness of adults.
Yes, pride, vanity, addiction, greed, blind obedience, empty knowledge. The little prince sees all of this, and he is confused. He does not understand why adults live like this. And through his confusion, we begin to question our own lives. Finally, the little prince arrives on Earth, and Earth is very different. It is big, it has many people, many cities, many landscapes. But he still feels alone. He meets a snake first. The snake speaks in riddles. The snake represents danger, but also transformation. Then he meets a fox. And this is perhaps the most important part of the book.
Yes, the meeting with the fox changes everything.
The fox asks the little prince to tame him. Now, the word tame is very important. It does not mean to control. It means to create a bond, to build a connection, to form a relationship. The fox explains something beautiful. When you tame me, we will need each other. This means that relationships create meaning. Before the little prince tames the fox is just a fox among thousands of foxes. And the little prince is just a little boy among thousands of boys. But after they create a bond, they become unique to each other. Let me say this again in different words. Love makes someone special. Connection creates uniqueness. Attention creates importance. Time creates value. Care creates meaning.
And then the fox says the most famous line in the book.
Yes, what is essential is invisible to the eye. This sentence is simple, but very deep. It means that the most important things in life, love, friendship, trust, cannot be seen. You cannot measure them. You cannot count them. But you can feel them. After meeting the fox, the little prince understands something new about his rose. He realizes that his rose is special, not because she is the only rose in the world, but because he has cared for her. He has watered her. He has protected her. He has listened to her. Responsibility creates love. The fox also tells him, "You become responsible forever for what you have tamed." This means that love is not only a feeling, it is also responsibility. It is also commitment. It is also care.
It is not just emotion, it is action.
Exactly. Love is showing up. Love is watering the rose. Love is listening. Love is protecting. Love is staying. And now the little prince understands that he misses his rose. At the end of the story, the little prince decides to return to his planet. But his body cannot travel like a normal body. So the snake bites him. This moment is mysterious. It is gentle and sad. The next day, his body is gone. We do not know exactly what happened. Did he die? Did he return to his planet? The story does not say clearly, and that is part of its beauty.
It leaves space. Space for imagination. Space for hope.
Yes, the pilot repairs his airplane. He returns to the world of adults. But he is changed. He carries the memory of the little prince. And when he looks at the stars, he hears laughter. This means that love continues, even when someone is far away, even when someone is invisible, even when someone is gone.
So, Liam, why do you think this book is still so loved today?
Because it reminds us of something we often forget. It reminds us to slow down. It reminds us to see with the heart. It reminds us that relationships matter more than possessions. It reminds us that responsibility is part of love. It reminds us that childhood wisdom is sometimes deeper than adult logic. In a world that is busy, this book whispers. In a world that counts numbers, this book speaks about stars. In a world that values productivity, this book values connection. And maybe that is why it touches so many people.
It feels like a gentle hand on your shoulder.
Yes, a gentle reminder that what is essential is invisible, that love makes someone unique, that time creates value, that caring gives meaning. And now, as we slowly come to the end of this episode, take a quiet moment. Maybe think about your own rose. Maybe think about the people you have tamed and who have tamed you. Thank you so much for listening to the Boosted English podcast today. Be kind to yourself. Language learning takes time. Understanding stories takes time. Growing as a person takes time. Progress is gentle. Progress is gradual. And you are doing better than you think. I'm Liam, and this was Emma.
Thank you for being with us.
We will meet again very soon. Until then, take care and keep seeing with your heart.